This is the best box or key split tutorial I can find on YouTube. I watched countless numbers of tutorials, but not all delivered as much as this. Don't worry, you're safe. Welcome to my channel Splash of Prudencia. My name is Prudence. Go ahead to like, share, and subscribe. So to make a box pleat or a key split, you have to work with a band. You'll be seeing the reason in the course of this tutorial. So as you can see, I went ahead to iron out my band, add my paper gum, and this is what I have. So the width of this band is 2 inches. Though after sewing, I want this band to be 1.5. That's why I cut it to be 2 inches. So by the time I take half an inch for seam allowance, I'll be having the 1.5 I need. So for this box pleat, you'll be using your hip measurement rather than your waist measurement. This is because it has an elastic band. Okay, so if you're not working with an elastic, you can use your exact waist measurement. So my hip measurement is 38. I'll be adding 2 inches, that's 40. So 1 inch will be for each end of this band for seam allowance. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark out this 1 inch. Okay, after marking this 1 inch out on both ends, take note this is on a fold, so I'll go ahead and then give it a good notch. After notching this out, I'm just going to make this notch show properly and then fold my band in two. Now for this box pleat, I need 3 box pleats at the front and then 3 box pleats at the back. That will give a total of 6 box pleats. So I'm just going to notch the middle of this band. Okay, so 3 box pleats here at the front and then 3 at the back. That will give us 6. Okay, so I'm just going to gauge this. No, by the time you're using your calculator to divide your measurements by 3, it might give you something odd. So instead of using your calculator, for beginners, you can use your calculator, that's totally fine, but for beginners you can fold it this way into 3. Just make sure these notches are falling properly. Okay, when you're folding, don't get past this middle notch, and then make sure you extend out the 1 inch for this side seam. Okay, so make sure after folding you get an equal folding. Then after that, you can go ahead and then notch all the points like I'm doing. Notch this out, notch this out. So this is your 3 for the front. So instead of going ahead to undergo this same stress for the back, just place this material together and then follow the already existing notches, because this box pleats are going to fall under the same plates front and back. So you're just going to go ahead and then re-notch this. This is what we'll have after notching it out. So the next thing, we are going to work with our main fabric. So for this box pleat, you might decide to do your hip or your waist measurements times 2 or times 3. So for this particular one, I used times 2, so you can use times 3. Okay, so this fabric was not enough, so I went ahead to cut it twice. Okay, so my hip is 38, so 38, I cut 38 in 2 places. Okay, take note, 38 in 2 places. And then we're just going to do the exact same thing we did on this band, but first of all, I'm going to go ahead and join these sides because this fabric is not enough. Okay, so after joining the side, this is what I have. So I'm just going to go ahead and follow the exact same way I used in notching this. Remember, I removed 1 inch for the side seam allowance. We are also going to remove this 1 inch and then notch it. Don't forget to work with your notches. This will make you sew perfectly. Okay, so remember, we folded this into 3. So this also, we are going to be folding it into 3. We cannot place our band on this because our band is far smaller than this. So while gauging this, I want to take note of this part I joined. Remember, my fabric was not enough, but if your fabric is enough, you can go ahead and then allow this to touch the end. But for this, I'm going to take note of that joining and then fold it into 3. Remember, I said you can use your calculator if you are okay with that. Okay, so after notching this out like we did for the band, I'm just going to place this together with the front and then repeat all the notches. You don't have to undergo all the stress trying to gauge what you have after folding it into 3. So you're just going to follow these notches and then notch them out again. Okay, This is quite easy. Make sure you like this video, share and subscribe, save it, because this will be helpful. Like I said, this is the best box pleat tutorial I found online. Okay, so we are just going to be pinning this up together, placing the notches together. So this is the 1-inch side seam allowance notch. I'm placing it together with the band and the main fabric. And then take note, the main fabric is bigger, so your next notch, it is going to be bigger. So just make sure you place the next notch on your main fabric and the next notch on your band together. Make sure you open this up. Okay, you don't want to do this together. So we are just going to go ahead and notch this out, and pin this up. Now the purpose of this pinning, without pinning, forget about being a beginner or being a pro. Without pinning, you can't get this perfectly well. Okay, so you have to pin, especially if you want to stitch this to some extent. Okay, so we are done pinning this up, and this is what we have. This is quite an easy one. So after doing this, we want to make sure we fold this band together. Make sure 2 notches touch each other, and notch again the middle of those notches touching each other. Just start with the first notch. These 2 notches touch each other, and then you notch again. I just hope you understand this. Place 2 already existing notches together, and then get the middle of these notches. This will enable your box pleat to be an easy one. So this notching we are making, remember, whatever we do on the band, we are also going to do it on the main fabric. So after notching this out, we are still going to repeat this same process on the main fabric. This will enable your box pleat to be a perfect one. So after doing this now I'm going to separate the band, like you can see, and then notch the middle of the main fabric. Remember, I said whatever you do on the band, you're also doing on the main fabric. So notching these midpoints will allow you know how to place your pleats together. As you can see, just take your time to notch each one of them out. Let me know in the comment section if you found this helpful, and let me know the next tutorial you want me to do. Okay, so this is the last one, and we're just going to go ahead and then notch this out. Now after notching this out, the next thing is to follow this. Now this is your excess. Remember, this is the purpose of the pinning, so, and the purpose of getting this midpoint. So we are just going to go ahead, and remember, if you look at the thumbnail very well, I sew a little bit from the waist down to the hip point. So this particular one, we are going to be sewing a little. So you're just going to measure what we have here and make sure it is fine, and then try to gauge it. Okay, gauge it. And then if you are doing the normal box pleats without you sewing a little, you can just go ahead and then start your sewing. But for this, I'm going to be sewing down up to 7 inches because that is the hip point of this particular skirt. And then after sewing that, I'm going to sew that for everything, so that I'm going to open this up. Okay, so this is what we'll have after sewing each of them out. Okay, I went ahead to sew 7 inches for each of them. This is what we'll have. This is quite an easy one, and you see the notches are still touching each other. So this is complete 6 box pleats already. So after that, the next step now is to take this pleats and then open them up and top stitch. After opening them up, you have to top stitch on this, and mind you, this notch here, you have to open it up to touch the midpoint where we sew, or there's a notch there. Actually, you can follow it. That's just in case you're not stitching your own from the waist to the hip point. Just make sure this sewing line and this notch, just make sure the notches are meeting each other. So when the notches meet each other, you're good to go. So we are just going to go ahead and pin this up. Like I said, work with your pin. Don't feel like you're a pro already. This will avoid losing and all that. Okay, so make sure this notch is touching where that sewing line is, or where the notch on the main band is touching. Okay, so we are done pinning down this second box pleat, and if you notice, these box pleats are not touching each other. Now this is because we did ×2. Remember, I said we can do ×2 and ×3. So if you do ×3, they are going to be meeting each other. So this is what we'll have after sewing it out, and this is the front part. Okay, so you can see what we have because of stitch. So we are just going to go ahead and
And
finish
then
up
we
our
fix
band
our
by
zipper
closing
into
it
the
up.
zipper
Okay,
allowance we added, that is that 1 inch. So I'm just going to show you an easy way of ironing this out. So to iron this out perfectly, measure what you have at the top here and then transfer that same measurement to the down. Measure each point. Okay, measure from the beginning to this point where the box pleat starts, and then measure it at that down part. If possible, you are just going to pin it at this down part. Then just make sure you transfer each measurement up to the down part and then iron this out straight. Now this is what we have after fixing our elastic and zipper. So if you want to know how I made this top I paired this with, let me know in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Until next time, keep splashing guys.